Welcome back to NeoEnglish, the podcast where we help you learn English through real conversations and current news.
That's right. Today's topic is about something we all do, even in class or at work, daydreaming.
Yes, and get this, daydreaming might actually help us learn. No joke. There's a new study covered in Neuroscience news that says mind wandering can help with unconscious learning.
Mind wandering, we also call it daydreaming, is when your thoughts drift away. You might be reading, but suddenly you're thinking about dinner or your weekend plans.
The article explains that when we're doing a simple task, like washing dishes or walking, and our attention isn't fully needed, it's okay if our mind drifts. That's when unconscious learning can happen.
Let's break that down. Unconscious means we don't know it's happening. And learning, well, that's all about your brain picking up new information. So unconscious learning is when your brain learns without you trying.
For example, if you're listening to English audio while cleaning and you start thinking about your lunch, your brain might still remember some of the words or grammar. That's unconscious learning.
Or if you walk while listening to an English podcast, like this one, and aren't focused the whole time, you might still remember parts of the conversation. That's mind wandering working for you.
Right. In the study, scientists recorded brain activity during these moments, and they found that the brain is still processing information, even when it's not fully focused.
Kind of amazing, right? Your brain has a background mode, like a computer.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some important words and phrases from the article.
Sure. First, we have the phrase minimal attention. Minimal means very little, and attention is when you focus on something.
So, minimal attention means you don't need to focus much. For example, brushing your teeth or tying your shoes, you don't need full attention.
The next word is spontaneous. This means something that just happens naturally, without planning.
Like if you start dancing suddenly when you hear music, that's spontaneous. Or if your thoughts wander during work, that's spontaneous too.
We also said boost learning. Boost means to help improve. So if daydreaming boosts learning, it helps you learn better.
Right? For example, drinking water can boost your energy. Taking short breaks boosts creativity.
All these ideas come together in the article. It says that spontaneous mind wandering, those random thoughts, can actually boost your learning, especially when your task requires minimal attention.
And that's great news for language learners. You can improve your English even during everyday tasks.
So here's a practical idea. When you're folding laundry, try listening to English music or podcasts.
Or when you're walking to the store, play this podcast again. Even if your mind drifts, your brain might still catch new English words.
Let's review the new words and phrases from today.
First is mind wandering. When your thoughts move away from what you're doing.
Next, spontaneous. Something that happens naturally without planning.
Then we have boost learning, to help the brain learn better.
And don't forget minimal attention. When you don't need a lot of focus to do something.
Let's put them into a little story to help you remember.
Sure. Here's the story. Maria listens to NeoEnglish while cooking. Cooking doesn't need much focus, so she gives it minimal attention. Her mind starts wandering. She thinks about her weekend trip. But later, she realizes she remembered a new English phrase. Her spontaneous mind wandering helped boost learning.
What a great example. So, don't worry if your thoughts drift sometimes. Your brain might still be working.
If you found this podcast useful, share it with your friends. Maybe it will help their English too.
That's all for today on NeoEnglish. Thanks for listening and keep daydreaming. In English, of course.
Until next time, bye and happy learning.